right? So that's the next thing I do, is I'm going to find out what my pattern elongation is to know which piece I got to stretch to which, all right? Then I'm going to check for my bow, and I'm going to check for my skew, and I'm going to check for pattern deviation going down the sides. And that's all on that sheet. These are the terms that you want to know when you're talking to the manufacturer. Those are the terms that they want to know when you call them, all right? So in the case we talked about earlier, instead of saying that it comes off, goes, comes on, goes off, comes on, goes off, you want to say, I put it down side by side, I've measured it, and I'm growing 1.5 inches and 10 feet. They want to know what it's growing, not that it comes on and off. So I've got a pattern elongation of 1.5 inches and 10 feet. Now, like I said, if you ask them beforehand and say, what are your tolerances, and they had told you it was 1%, that should be only 1 inch and 10 feet. Now, it's out of tolerance. You have a choice. Do I make this work, or do I ship it back and get me a piece? If you don't feel that you can bring it on, stop. Do not do it. Because if you don't, the customer's expecting it on, so it's not going to be satisfactory. If you say, yes, I can make this work, you better be able to make it work. If you're going to say to the mill, I can make this work, because the mill will reimburse you for working with that pattern. Might have to fight for it sometimes, but they will reimburse you for working with that pattern. So if it's off, and another thing to do is have your digital cameras with you, have your phones if they have cameras with you, because with the days of emails and that kind of stuff, take pictures, notate, show them that it has a bow or a skew in it. Take pictures of it. Show them, put your piece down, put a tape measure next to it, take a picture of it, send it to them. So not only do they know that you know what you're talking about, now you've showed them what you're talking about, because you can send it right to their claims department and they will take care of it. So I said, I'm not going to get down, because every one of these have been through our training, and you guys do it all the time here. You check for bow and skew and pattern elongation. You guys pretty much know how to do that. So I don't think we need to take the time with that. Any questions so far on anything we've talked about? Quiet crowd. Good, yeah, right, good teacher. All right. What we're going to deal with is, I didn't bring a hot iron in. Somebody got a hot iron here? That's not, if you want to plug, because we're going to use the hot iron, because I know that's what all of you guys have. I'm also then going to use the Cool Glide, because that's pretty much all I use anymore. We're going to be using the SeamerDown, and the people that don't know, this is Daniel Bennett. He invented the SeamerDown. He's actually an installer out of the Richmond, Virginia area. And so he came down today to give us support and film. But we're going to go through some of these tools. And the reason we are is because to say you can't do it without them, I'm not one that's going to tell you you can't do it without them, because I've done it for years without them. But I'm also not stupid. And if I find something that's going to make my job better, easier, and gives me strong seams, give me good-looking seams, and take away some of the issues that I've had, I'm going to use it. And so, if I do use the hot iron, which isn't a lot anymore, but I still do, I'll run the SeamerDown as my seam weight behind it. If I'm using a Cool Glide, which is what I use almost most time on all my seams, I run the Cool Glide as SeamerDown as my weight behind it. So it can be used behind anything. It's a little bit more expensive, the Cool Glide is, but the benefits in that you can have with that, you'll see that I'm going to show today, is by far outweighs the extra cost on what it costs to do. You use it most of the time, don't you guys use it now? Quite a few of them use it. Like I said, the hardest thing is couldn't find a. Well, I got one in the truck. I'll get it. We'll take a break here in a second.
I got a 6-inch one.
No, I'll bring it. I got a whole bunch of them in the truck. I just forgot to grab one. We'll take a break here in a minute. But like I said, dealing with patterns is fun. And I know part of the problem that you guys have had here has been edge deviation. The edge bow. Apparently you've been getting a lot of edge bow, Britton, on your carpets.
Yeah.
Where it deviates down the end. Most manufacturers is a ½ inch. Can go in and out a ½ inch. And you're saying a ½ inch, that's an awful lot to mess with. And it is.
½ inch on each side, because again, you put two pieces together,
That's
both
an
go
inch.
out a ½ inch.
That's an inch.
You got an inch.
But it's ½ inch on each side.
In how many feet?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because it's running length. So it's something that's going in the length. So it can deviate in ½ inch, come back out, deviate in a ½ inch, come back out, and that's considered standard. In standard.
Even if it's within 6 inches.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it can do this. Normally it's a little bit further than that. Normally it'll go in, almost, and back out and go for a while and then back in and then back out. Normally it's not. I haven't seen one in a long time that was